and Shri Advaita Kadata Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Continue reading from Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 5. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we finished reading about Amrish Maharaj, that how Sudarshan Chakra, how he uh, offered all glories to Sudarshan Chakra and offered prayers to Sudarshan Chakra to protect Durvāsā Muni. Though Durvāsā Muni has heard him so much, but still, because he was a true devotee and a Vaishnav, he did not feel offended. Rather, he prayed to Sudarshan Chakra to, if he has done anything pious in all his life or his dynasty has done any good work, to protect Durvāsā Muni. And then Durvāsā Muni was really pleased. And then they both broke their fast because they both had not eaten anything. And then Sri Sukadev Goswami gives us the benediction that whoever is hearing this, then they'll
Not
be,
yet. That's
oh,
today.
not yet. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's
So,
today. But
okay,
Durvāsā Muni gave the benediction to Ambarish Maharaj, right?
Durvāsā Muni, the
Yeah.
benediction. Yes,
Yeah,
Amrish Maharaj.
Durvāsā Muni, he gave benediction to Ambarish Maharaj saying that he will be glorified everywhere on the earth and in the heavens.
Heavenly planets, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's begin with today's text then. Text 22. Shishukuvacha
Shri Shukra Uvacha
evam sankirtya rajanam
Evam Sankirtya Rajanam
Durvāsā paritoshitaha
Durvasaha Paritoshitaha
yaya vihaya samantriya
Yayo Vihaya Sam Amantraya
brahmalokam ahaitukam.
Brahmalokam Ahetukam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Sukadev Goswami continued, thus being satisfied in all respects, the great mystic yogi Durvāsā took permission and left, continuously glorifying the king. Through the skyways he went to Brahmalok, which is devoid of agnostics and dry philosophical speculators. Although Durvāsā Muni went back to Brahmalok through the spaceways, he did not need an airplane, for great mystic yogis can transport themselves from any planet to any other without any machine. There's a planet named Siddhalok, whose inhabitants can go to any other planet because they naturally have all the perfection of yoga practice. So the Rasamani is going back to Brahmalok without any airplane, but with the power of his mysticism. He has this power. Yeah, and there is also Siddhalok. They can go anywhere, any planet, because they also have this siddhi of traveling from one planet to another. No need to make any reservations, no plane reservations, no, checking are there any flights available or no. So thus Durvāsā Muni, the great mystic yogi, could go through the skyways to any planet, even to Brahmalok. In Brahmalok, everyone is self-realized, and thus there is no need of philosophical speculation to come to the conclusion of the absolute truth. Durvāsā Muni's purpose in going to Brahmalok was apparently to speak to the residents of Brahmalok about how powerful a devotee is and how a devotee can surpass every living entity within this material world. The so-called jnanis and yogis cannot compare to a devotee. So why did Durvāsā Muni go to Brahmalok?
To glorify Ambrish Maharaj and the devotee. He wanted to glorify the devotee.
Yeah, he wanted to glorify the devotee. Yeah. He had personal experience of how powerful a devotee is. That even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva didn't want to, they said, we can't save you. You have to go to Lord Vishnu. Vishnu said, I can't save you. You have to go back to Ambarish Maharaj. So powerful. So Brahmalok here is said that everyone is self-realized. Thus, there is no need of philosophical speculation to come to the conclusion of the absolute truth. So over there means there's no like jnani is there, self-realized. They already finished all the philosophical speculation in Brahmalok. No, devoid of agno. So there's no atheism there. There's no no philosophical speculation, but everyone is self-realized. Samvatsarotyaga tavad.
Hilpa ji, so just one question. So
Yeah.
that means that they are saying that the one who do the yoga, then they reach up to the Brahma Jyoti, right? So this is the Brahma Lok.
This is Brahmalok. This is Lord Brahma's planet, still within
Yeah.
the
So this is
material world.
like the Jnani, right?
No, this is Lord
No.
Brahma's planet. Well, the
Yeah. So
Gyanis, they go to Brahman. They go to the Brahma Jyoti. And the
okay.
yogi also depends on his yoga practice.
Hmm.
If he is aiming for Brahma Jyoti also, he will go to Brahma Jyoti. But here he is going to Lord Brahma's planet to tell everyone, give up any kind of speculation that you may have. Don't be
Hmm.
a yajnani or even don't be a mystic, but be
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
devotee.
Okay. 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 Got your point. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And by this pastime, then Durvāsā Muni is not only telling the inhabitants of Brahmalok, but to everyone. He's showing everyone that become a devotee. You know, give up this speculation. Give up this idea of mysticism. Rather become a devotee.
Yeah.
Samvatsaro tyaga tavad.
संवत्सरोत्यागात्तावद्
Yavata nagato gataha.
यावता नागतो गतः
Munistad darshanakangsho.
मुनिस्तद्दर्शनाकाङ्क्षो
Raja bhaksho babhuvah.
राजा भक्षो बभूवः.
The Rasamuni had left the place of Maharaj Ambarish, and as long as he had not returned, for one complete year, the king had fasted, maintaining himself simply by drinking water. Okay, here it's answered. 1 year, did he drink water or no? Yes, he drank water, but he didn't eat anything. He did not eat anything. You know, we don't eat for a day, how do we feel? Ambarish Maharaj, 1 full year he's waiting for the Rasamani without any food. Gate Durvāsā siso ambarisho
गतेऽथ दुर्वाससितो अम्बरीशो
Vijopayogati pavitram aharat.
द्विजोपयोगापवित्रम् आहर.
Rishir vimoksham vyasanam cha vikshaya.
ऋषे विमोक्षं व्यसनं च वीक्षय
Mene swaviryam cha paranubhavam.
मेने सवीर्यं च परनुभावम्.
After 1 year, when Durvāsā Muni had returned, King Ambarish sumptuously fed him all varieties of pure food, and then he himself also ate. When the king saw that the Brahmana Durvāsā had been released from the danger of being burnt, he could understand that by the grace of the Lord, he himself was also powerful, but he did not take any credit, for everything had been done by the Lord. A devotee like Maharaj Ambarish is certainly always busy in many activities. Of course, this material world is full of dangers that one has to meet, but a devotee, because of his full dependence on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is never disturbed. The vivid example is Maharaj Ambarish. He was the emperor of the entire world and had many duties to perform. And in the course of these duties, there were many disturbances created by persons like Durvāsā Muni. But the king tolerated everything patiently, depending fully on the mercy of the Lord. The Lord, however, is situated in everyone's heart, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sanivishta, and he manages things as he desires. Thus, although Maharaj Ambarish was faced with many disturbances, the Lord, being merciful to him, managed things so nicely that in the end, Durvāsā Muni and Maharaj Ambarish became great friends and parted cordially on the basis of Bhakti Yoga. After all, Durvāsā Muni was convinced of the power of Bhakti Yoga, although he himself was a great mystic yogi. Therefore, as stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 647, Yoginam api sarvesham matgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma same yukta tamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Thus, it is a fact that a devotee is the topmost yogi, as proved in the dealings of Maharaj Ambarish with Durvāsā Muni. So Krishna is saying this verse in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 647, that of all the yogis, the devotee is the best yogi, the bhakti yogi. And we can see here in this pastime, in this pastime of Durvāsā Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, a pure devotee. Durvāsā Muni, a great mystic yogi. But we can see that how Ambarish Maharaj is greater than Durvāsā Muni. Yeah, so what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, we can see here practically in Bhagavatam. These verses, in action. Krishna's words in action we can see through these pastimes. So Ambarish Maharaj, a pure devotee, we get a little bit how much we brag. We may say, oh, because of me, see how I can do this, see how much I can do. I have this, I have that. Ambarish Maharaj, so humble. He's not thinking, oh, see, I'm so great that Krishna also listens to me for my protection. So Darshan Chakra is always there doing, protecting me. No, he's so humble, so tolerant, so patient, not at all proud. We get a little bit something, we may get that pride or that arrogance. See, I did this. Because of me, this happened. But Ambarish Maharaj, completely dependent on the Lord. He's completely dependent. And that's the reason, although he has so many disturbances, the Lord is always protecting him. He is a king, Prabhupada is mentioning. So he has so many things, being a king is not easy to manage a kingdom. Not easy. But because Ambarish Maharaj is a pure devotee, Krishna who is within the heart, he is arranging everything nicely for Maharaj Ambarish. Any comments, questions? Okay, let's go on. Evam vidhane kaguna saraja
एवं विधाने कगुणा सराजन्
paratmani pramani vasudeve
परात्मनि ब्रह्मणि वासुदेवे
kriya क्रियाकलापे समुवाह भक्तिम्
क्रियाकलापे
क्रियाकलापे
समुभाव भक्तिम्
भक्ति
यया विरिञ्च्यान्निरयांश्चकार
यया विरिञ्च्यान्निरयाञ्चकार.
In this way, because of devotional service, Maharaj Ambarish, who was endowed with varieties of transcendental qualities, was completely aware of Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus he executed devotional service perfectly. Because of his devotion, he thought even the topmost planet of this material world no better than the hellish planets. An exalted and pure devotee like Maharaj Ambarish is in full awareness of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. In other words, a devotee of Vasudev Krishna is in full knowledge of the other features of the Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is realized in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti, Shabdayate. So, what are the three features of the Absolute Truth?
Brahman,
Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan.
Yeah, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. A devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudev knows everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Because Vasudev Krishna includes both Paramatma and Brahman. So, because a devotee, he's understood. He's understood Bhagwan. So, of course, then he's also understood Brahman and Paramatma. One does not have to realize Paramatma by the yoga system. For the devotee always thinking of Vasudev is the topmost yogi, yoginavapi sarvesha. And as far as Gyan is concerned, if one is a perfect devotee of Vasudev, he is the greatest Mahatma, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. A Mahatma is one who has full knowledge of the absolute truth. So a devotee, he has knowledge. He has complete knowledge of the absolute truth. And also he is always thinking of the Lord. He's always in samadhi. And so that's why he's called the greatest yogi. He's called the greatest, he is called a Mahatma. Thus Maharaj Ambarish, being a devotee of the personality of Godhead, was in full awareness of Paramatma, Brahman, Maya, the material world, the spiritual world, and how things are going on everywhere. You know how we read before that Bhagavatam says when one engages in devotional service, one automatically gets Gyan and Vairagya without any separate endeavor. Just by engaging in devotional service, one can get complete knowledge. So here, Ambarish Maharaj, the pure devotee, has complete knowledge of how things stand. Spiritual world, material world, Maya, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan. Everything was known to him. Yasmin Vigyate Sarvam Evam Yagyatam Bhavati. Because the devotee knows Vasudev, he knows everything within the creation of Vasudev. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Such a devotee does not give much value to the highest standard of happiness within this material world. So, because a devotee has perfect knowledge, he also understands this material world. He understands that the happiness in this material world is very flickering. Flick, it's very temporary. Narayana Parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati sarva kapavarga narakeshav api tulyartha darshina Bhagavatam 6.17.28. Because he is fixed in devotional service, a devotee does not regard any position in the material world as important. So he is completely understood. I am servant of Krishna. And so he is dedicated constantly, uninterruptedly in this service, in devotional service. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has therefore written Chaitanya Chandamrita 5, Kevalyam Narakayate Tridashapur Akash Pushpayate Durata Durad Atendriya Kala Sarpa Patali Prokta Khata Damstrayate Vishwam Purna Sukhayate Vidhi Mahendra Dischakitayate Yat Karunaya Kataksha Vaibhavatat Vaibhavatam Tam Gauram Eva Stumaha. For one who becomes a pure devotee through devotional service to great personalities like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kevalya or merging into Brahman appears no better than hell. As far as the heavenly planets are concerned, to a devotee, they are like phantasmagoria or will-o'-the-wisp. And as far as yogic perfection is concerned, a devotee does not care a fig for such perfection, since the purpose of yogic perfection is achieved automatically by the devotee. This is all possible when one becomes a devotee of the Lord through the medium of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. So here Prabhupada is quoting Prabodhananda Saraswati. Now Prabodhananda Saraswati is saying that one who takes up devotional service, one who becomes a pure devotee, uh, in the line following the instructions of Lord Chaitanya, that one who is becoming a pure devotee by worshipping Lord Chaitanya, then what happens to him? Does he want to merge into Brahman? What is he thinking of Brahman?
It's like hell.
Like hell. Yeah. Why?
Reaching to Brahma. Because you're not serving, right? You're
Yeah.
not having devotional, and you're not engaged in devotional service.
Yeah.
Um,
Not engaged in devotional
And
service.
then you will come back also. There's a chance you fall back.
Fall back. Yeah. That's true. And there are no devotees there. There's no Lord there. Yeah. And what does he think of heavenly planets? What about the happiness over there?
Enter mess. Enters Magoria.
Magoria. Yeah. It's very
Yes.
temporary.
Yes.
Very temporary. He understands it's very temporary, you know. And what about siddhis? Does he want any siddhi?
No,
No, he doesn't.
because yeah, a devotee is already right perfect in yogi.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After devotional service, it automatically like achieved the perfection, right?
yeah.
By doing, yeah.
We can see it's so evident in this pastime of Durvāsā Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. Durvāsā Muni, a great mystic yogi, he has the siddhis, but Ambarish Maharaj, we can see is actually much more powerful than Durvāsā Muni. So then Prabodhananda Saraswati is saying that this becomes possible when one becomes a devotee of Krishna by taking the instructions, taking the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By following the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can come to this understanding. It is very difficult to understand Krishna, but by mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it becomes easy. And that's why Krishna came himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us about himself. So,
So specifically like did Maharaj Ambarish take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
well,
instruction?
uh,
Does it
uh,
mean?
no, no,
No.
no. But for us, it's recommended that. For us Kalyug people, it's recommended to take the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to become pure devotee. Yeah. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra, give Krishna to everyone. Yeah. So, because we have no qualification, mind's always disturbed, quarrelsome, very short life. We much don't have much capacity to do any austerity, any penance. So we are encouraged to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, take up devotional service under the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Should we stop here? Any comments, questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I want to know like difference between yogi and jnani,
Mm-hmm.
because it discussed like Amrish Maharaj was yogi, right?
He is not a yogi, he's a devotee.
Oh, somewhere it was written like
Of all the yogis, the bhakti yogi is the best. That's what's mentioned. So he's a bhakta yogi. He's not like Ashtanga yogi.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a bhakta yogi. Jnani is those who are trying to get knowledge, but not hearing from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, just by own mind, speculation, trying to understand God with our own mind, without taking shelter of instructions from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or the devotees. Yogi, one who is searching after. So, Jnani, the destination is Brahman, the Brahmajyoti. That's as far as the knowledge one can get by Gyan. That the absolute truth is Brahmajyoti. God is the Brahman. By yogi, those in samadhi, yogi sitting for thousands of years in samadhi, sitting in one position, no sense gratification. So then, by that process, can understand God is the Paramatma in the heart, Paramatma realization. Devotee is automatically a Jnani and Yogi, and even more, because he understands God is a person, that the Brahman is the light coming from his body, Paramatma is how he is pervading this entire universe. So he's automatically the highest yogi. He automatically gets knowledge by engaging in devotional service. So the more we engage in devotional service, the more we will get knowledge and realization of our true self. Is that okay?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So, but yogi and jnani, combination of yogi and jnani is pure devotee, right? Or might be possible. Is not always true.
Yeah. See, a jnani or a yogi have to come to the point of bhakti.
When you have
You get,
bhakti yoga.
to get perfection. Like to graduate, one maybe in second standard or one maybe in fifth standard. But to graduate from school, one has to come to the 12th grade, right? So like that.
Because Durvāsā Muni, he was a very knowledgeable person, right? He was also a yogi, right?
Yeah.
Yogi.
Yeah.
But he has no devotional service of Krishna.
Yeah.
So that's why he is not a jnani. No, not a devotee.
That's right. He has no devotion. Devotee means somebody who has devotion. Right? Well, somebody who's serving Krishna is a devotee. One who serves Krishna with devotion is a devotee. But here Durvāsā Muni, he's a yogi. He did yoga practice
Mm-hmm.
and he got the siddhis.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference.
Yeah. Okay, understood. I got it.
Okay. All right then. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur
Jai.
Bhakta Vritta ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Thank you.